Hello everyone, Paul here. Today I'm going to give you guys a two-parter video. This is a new strategy with moving averages that I found works really well. This video is going to be pretty short. I'm going to make it a two-parter. There's going to be this one I'm going to talk about setting it up, and tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the best time frames to use it with. And today we're going to be using this strategy for the example of doing, futures trading with crypto and doing stock market. So I'm going to set you up with this strategy. We're going to look at both. We're going to look at future trading with crypto and then stock market. And we can see how this actually works. But tomorrow I'm going to actually go over my strategy and the kind of the time frames that I like going over with this particular strategy. So stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll have a video for that too. But anyway, let me just show you how to set it up. You're gonna need you're gonna need 2 EMAs here, and so we're just gonna, you only really need 3, so you need 2 EMAs, moving averages, and optional, well, not really optional, but you can put your relative strength index in there, or the Scholastic RSI. Either one of those will work for this. But mainly, I would just stick with the relative strength index to make this simple. Anyway, let's get you guys all set up for the strategy. Okay, so let's look at crypto real quick. Let's look at the 5 minutes, and let's focus on one. I've been trading this for the past couple days. I'm a big fan of Render, and I'm trading this with just USD. Okay, so you can do this 2 different ways. You can go to your indicators and you can go to the 3 smooth moving averages. What this does is it kind of condenses 3 moving averages into one, so it's not cluttering up your screen. So if you're using your phone like I am, it won't clutter up your screen. Or you can just go and do moving average exponential. You'll need it twice, but that will clutter up your screen. And for me, I actually removed the Pro membership because all you really need is just this. In my opinion, you only need this strategy and maybe RSI or the Scholastic or RSI. But anyway, to set this up, what you really need is you need to have your first one to be at 9. It's 9 and 55 is the strategy. So you have your 9 and your 55 moving averages. So the strategy is really simple. What you basically want to do is you just want to look for the moments that it crosses, because you'll notice that the moments that they cross, and this is kind of what I'll talk about, usually when it crosses, the moment it crosses, if you go to cross, you'll find out that it's, if you do want to write it out, it's usually at a different point than where it crossed for the first time. So, for example, like here, you can see on Render right here when it crossed down. This was this would have been a short right here. So what you would do is you would enter it right here, and if you noticed, if you wrote this out all the way from here to when it crossed again, it was $2.30. So up here, when it first crossed, it was $2.41. Then when it crossed back up again, it was $2.30. So the moments of, like, if you're doing a short, it's always a level down of where it should be. You could basically just follow the moving averages, and you can end your trade at any time. But there's only a couple times using this strategy to where it won't work. It's like those brief moments. This strategy will work if you can find those big moments of when it, those big pumps, and you can also find those short pumps. So for example here, you'll see that there's a short one right here where it crossed at 2.37, and then it crossed back up again at 2.36. So So that was a brief time. So you can find the small ones and the big ones with this strategy, and to kind of point it out. So you could just use your best judgment on it, but you know, you could take profit. You could take profit anytime you want. That's another reason why to have the RSI here. You can add that. That's optional. But let's just say, for example, you came in at... Okay, so we see that it crossed right here. So it crossed in a long position right here at 196. If you look at your RSI... If you look at your RSI at this point, you can basically just follow the RSI till when it crosses, till when it kisses the RSI. You can get out here if you choose to, or you can just choose to write it out to see where it goes. But usually it will lead to a higher number or a bigger gain than what it was before. So anyway, that's kind of the strategy on doing it with futures. You know, if I do it, you can do the 5 minute. I'm going to reveal the time frames more specifically tomorrow, but you can do 5 minute, hour, day, whichever one you want. You know, in my personal opinion, the longer you go out with time frames, the better your results are going to be. So let's just look at that real quick. Let's just look at the hour. Now, the only disadvantages of doing it on a longer time frame, you have to wait longer for it to cross. But you can see that it came down here for a short at 233, and then it crossed back in again at 222. So this, any time in here would have been a gain. So if it came out here, and you can write it out to maybe about here if you want to. You can look at your RSI. You can, from this point up here, you can just look at your RSI and see when it kisses it again, which is right about here. So that would have been profit right there if you did it on the hour. But let's just go back to the 5 minute, and then let's just, I think you guys get the general idea of how to do it with futures trading with crypto. It's pretty much the same thing. You find when it crosses, and then you can get out at any time. You can write it out till it crosses again. But, you know, if you write it out till it crosses again, you might not make as much. But you can find this moment of where you think it's going to start switching, direction. But, you know, you can watch your RSI. Let's look at the stock market real quick. Let's just see how this works with the stock market. Okay, so it's the same thing, and you see it crossing here, so this would be a 411. This would be a 411 put. So if we rode this one out from this point, and we looked at the RSI, it kind of kisses right here. So you would get out right around here if you wanted to. That'd be about $100. So if we look at another time that it crossed, was right about here. So if we look at, this would be a 411 call. We come out here, we look at the RSI. See, it kisses right around there, but I probably would write it out to here. That's about $100 right there. And then we just keep your eye open for every time it crosses. Here's an example right here. This would be a 412 put. So if you rode that one out, you rode this one out and you look at your RSI, or you can just follow the line, because usually the next time it crosses will be at a different amount from where it crossed for the first time. So you'll make gains either way. So if you did just here to here, it wouldn't have been that much, but you still probably would have some profit. You could get out right here at the bottom too. That's probably about $60-70. Let's do this a couple more times. Okay, so it crossed up here, so you would do a call right here about 407. A 407 call, and then you write it out. You can write it out up here. This is about when it starts changing directions. This is about $300. Or you can just write it till it crosses again, which you still would be in profit. You'll be in profit most of the time. There's some of the situations where you won't be, or you'll just basically be neutral from your position. This one's about $300. So anyway, this is a very strong strategy. It's what I use. Tomorrow I'm specifically going to go over what time frames I use and kind of like my outline of to use this to your advantage. My best method of using this to your advantage. But anyway, this is the strategy. You can do this at any time frame you want, but just know that the longer time frame that you do, the longer you're going to have to wait for the signal. But anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.